You know what I'm saying? I
Brother
did go like,
Shaka,
oh, yeah.
let me say this before I go. You are
Yeah.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. Why? Because he has been listening for a long time, and when you say something, he's going to say, "Wait, but you said this on this day. Here's the video."
And he's going to have the
He is
documentation.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. And so I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that Soneta's audience now knows about you. He was talking to me about Shaka. I thought he was talking about Shaka almost for a second. Because Soneta love him some Shaka Ma'at forever. So I'm just honored that now we have a more global. I know Rob Moore was kind of making a joke, but he was also making a comment. The reality is that this internet is going to allow Africans all over the world to connect on our interest, and that is powerful. That is powerful.
Yes.
I'm honored to be on. I promise I will communicate with you. I'm watching your shows ardently, Shaka. So whenever you would like me to come and chat with you privately or publicly, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hotep Senu Hena Senut Iti then Ishaka Nugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this live stream is South Africa, No Xenophobia? Question mark. Let me check the sound quality. Okay, sounds good on my end. It's gonna take a little while for the people to come through. I share the live stream on my community tab on YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot live stream on TikTok at the same time because I've been blocked from live streaming or participating in live streams until tomorrow. So it was like from 1 p.m. my time. So it's going to be until tomorrow, 1 p.m. my time. You know, it's a 24-hour restriction. And I have uploaded a brief video on my main channel, my at Forever. So if people are curious, they can see what happened. There was a sister from the US who was live on TikTok. I hopped on the panel, said what's up, and things was all good. Then she put somebody else on the panel. It was anonymous and unidentified. That person started insulting me. The host didn't say jack. And then I got kicked off, you know, either by the host or by one of her mods. And shortly after, the other person got kicked out as well. And that's when I got the message from TikTok telling me that, you know, I cannot go live, you know. So it is what it is. So today, as I was on my way to work, I started hearing some convo about, you know, xenophobia in South Africa, right? Sister Andrea Berner is in the place to be. I hope you're doing well. So you're gonna hear, I pulled up. So I pulled up. You're gonna hear what happened. The interesting thing is that after that convo that you will hear, you know how it is, you know, with the analytics and all these things. Sometimes you be looking for some particular topics, and that's what will come up. So there's another live stream, and There were South Africans talking about foreigners. You're gonna hear what they said. So I got love for my people everywhere. I don't judge people based on where they are from, and I actually said that, in the first stream. But sometimes people have a position and they are denying reality, right? Just like you have some people based on their belief system, then they are denying reality, right? And I ask a very simple question. You will hear that after my question was asked, a lot of things were said, and I had to ask my question again. Then I had to answer. And when it's like that, you know that people, just don't want to answer directly because they know that it's inconvenient. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna listen to it, and then I'm going to take it from there. So let me share this. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me get the fair use disclaimer out of the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for criticism, common news reporting, teaching, education, scholarship, and research. If you know some people from Azania, South Africa, feel free to let them know. You know what I'm saying? They are welcome. I've already shared the link to get on the panel. And also for those who haven't seen it, there was this video called Kemet and Ma'at, which has 404,000 views so far. It's less than an hour long, so in your own time, feel free to check it out. Okay, so let's go now.
And so maybe if you adopt from what we do, and we can take a few from you that can learn from us on how we decided to come into unity. They have their own gangs, they have their own cliques and whatnot. We don't run that here, we don't do that here. And for them to fail to unite themselves within the same state, even just one state.
So for the record, there was a lot of background noise. That is indeed because I was driving to work. But at one point, I parked the car, so there's going to be less noise, from the driving. Okay.
An example in Chicago, during summer, people can't have cookouts because of what's happening there. There's no unity within the small communities that are there. So even with
I look at
community that is there.
I look at gangs like sort of like tribes too. There's no difference. So exactly how you look at like a gang, I look at it like a tribe as well. Like but I wouldn't say that that's true that you can't have cookouts. Like a lot of the gang violence thing is it's exaggerated like by propaganda as well. It doesn't happen like the white people say it does. They make it sound like black people are just killing each other here, left, right, and center. Yeah, it happens.
But
yes,
what about the gangs in the colored community?
Yeah, there's gangs in there's also gangs in black communities in South Africa too.
But
this person, hold on. Before I carry on, this person that I'm bringing up, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you being up here, especially with what you said. You're talking about in America, I'm escaped unalive by the police. What you guys are not going to do now, you're not going to come onto my side of TikTok. You guys can do it there on Africa's side of TikTok, but you're not going to come here and talk about police brutality like it's a game, like it's funny. I've got a black son.
I do have a question, host.
Hold on. I have a black son. I've got a black daughter. I am here. You don't get to talk about how people are being unalived in the streets by police. It's not a game. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you probably don't like African Americans. You're not going to use that as a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, guys. I'm sorry, it's not a joke. There's been many times where I've been in situations where I had to tame myself. It's not a joke. You're not going to come on my live. You better not. I'm going to let you come up, but you better not say that shit.
How are we xenophobic when we just...
What do you mean, but why am I here? I came to fetch my inheritance.
Can I ask my question?
There's people down here saying that we're xenophobic, so I want them to explain how are we xenophobic?
My question actually is directly about that.
How are we xenophobic for defending our country and our identity? How are we xenophobic?
Host, when I came in here earlier at 11 o'clock, you know how I was. I was screaming about how xenophobic South Africans are and how hateful y'all are and all these other things. But hold on, Naledi, hold on. I regret what I said now because now I see where you guys are coming from. I don't think you guys are xenophobic. You just want the best for your country and your people, and there's no reason to there's no reason to just think that these foreigners who come to South Africa have the same goals as you. They probably don't. They're probably just trying to profit off of your country, right? And have their own plans. And meanwhile, destroying South Africa and what it is. Now I see where you guys are coming from, right? I came in this conversation very ignorant. I'm not going to lie, just because of everything I saw on social media and Twitter. But now I see where you are coming from. Now I see.
Look at you, Keisha. Okay, girl.
Can I add my 2 cents on
You
that?
sat, you know what you did? You sat, you listened, you put yourself in the shoes of the people who were speaking and who have experienced it, and that's why you're able to reason.
Can I?
We are grateful. Thank you.
Let me
Hold
say
on.
something.
Actually, me
I want
wanna-
to add on what Keisha is. Well, it's kind of like a metaphor on the statement that Keisha was saying now. So I'm just gonna make an example, Keisha. You see what's going on in Palestine, right? Palestine and Israel.
Yeah.
So Palestinians, they're trying to fight for their country, and Israel is taking it. You wouldn't go and move to Palestine at this moment, right? And then when the Palestinians win their country back, and they try to stabilize their country, and then I'm not saying that you're criminal, but I'm just saying that, let's say you go there and you go with intentions, maybe like do credit card scam or any type of crime, we wouldn't allow that. People like that, we want to kick them out of the country. But now your country is going to look at us like we're xenophobic, which is Palestinians will look at, other countries will look at you in Palestine that Palestinians, they are xenophobic, which they are not xenophobic. They try to fight that crime out of our country. They try to protect what was theirs. So now I'm going back to South Africa. South Africa was going through this almost the same thing as Palestinians were going through. And now after we get our country back, then we start having all these other African countries, they come into our country. Some of them, they do good. Some of them, they don't. They come into our country. They destroying our country. And now we're fighting those people that are doing bad. And now they're going out there spreading the word that we are xenophobic because of this and that and this and that and that, which is not.
And so, Silly, my question has directly to do with what you just said. And I wanted you to respond to it. It's going to be a respectful question. I'm not going to...
Okay.
So, I have family in Kenya. Kenya is a hub in Africa. East Africa, one of the most powerful nations is Kenya. Southern Africa is South Africa. Nigeria is Western Africa, My uncle, I have 2 uncles, right? So I'll make the story short. My uncle in Kenya, he's thriving. He's in Nairobi. He has a business. Things are smooth for him.
Right.
One of my other uncles, Allah Nahista, he passed away. All he did is he took the business from Nairobi that he had. I'm Somali, by the way. He came to South Africa.
I knew it.
I not you guys.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Not him. Not Somali and selling
Hold on,
expired
Nadine.
food.
Nadine,
But
hold on.
let him talk.
Well, okay, me being Somali, guys, you're trying to show that you
No,
guys
just
are
go ahead. Keep talking. Act like we didn't hear.
Okay, I'll act like I didn't hear it. So basically, not just Somalis, many Africans have had this experience. He had a business. He had no issues with the police. He had no issues with law enforcement, right? Because you guys do have pretty good police, actually, in South Africa.
Nah.
We used to.
Well, this is 2017 when this happened.
Okay.
This isn't current, by the way, guys. So I'll make that clear. So how my family over there described it to me, he had a mob basically kill him, unalive him. I'm sorry, forgive me for TikTok. Unalive him. And the police did arrest some of the people who did it, thankfully. But my question to you, he was unalived, not because he stole, not because of anything else. The question, his business started booming, right? His job was to sell logistically what he was doing in Nairobi, bringing gas into Kenya. And then he started doing the same business style in South Africa. And there are many stories like this, right?
Where in South Africa?
I think it was Johannesburg. I'm not 100% sure.
Was it in the hood? Was it in the cities? Where was it?
It was in the cities.
Attacks happen in certain areas. Where was it?
What do you
Because
mean?
they fabricate stories. They fabricate stories, these people.
When
I'm
you
not
bring
making
gas,
wallahi, I'm
when
not
you
making
bring
up the
gas,
story.
you bring it in a country. You don't bring it to areas.
Okay, let me. Okay,
I
let
can't
me
hear you guys. You guys are
explain.
both talking. I couldn't hear you guys.
Okay,
The
explain further.
thing is, like, Somalis are known to. There were like so many truck busts of like illegal products being brought to the South Africa that were expired goods, and a lot of children died from the spaza shop goods that were being transported from the Horn of Africa to South Africa. So yes, it's going to be normal that a person is not going to trust a Somali spot. And you know, they also participate in the human trafficking that goes on in South Africa.
You have an article that proves that?
Yes, there's many, but you can go and do your own research because I don't do research for people.
Can I comment on the 2019 xenophobia?
The where?
Okay.
Because these same Somalis don't have the issue in Kenya. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hold on, the guy didn't finish the question.
Let them
see his question first.
let them go to Kenya, okay? They don't have a
No,
problem.
but this the point. The point I'm making, silly, right? I'm not someone who says South Africans are xenophobic. I've never been to South Africa, so I don't have the right to say that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I have never been there, and nor do I understand the geo moves and politics of what's going on. So as I'm
Just
giving
know
you
you
guys
guys
a
kill
chance,
us.
Nalidi, there's no reason to be defensive. If you guys are not xenophobic, you know, silly doesn't seem defensive for my question. So my question is, if you guys are trying to show people we aren't xenophobic, we are fighting our country, the moment I said
We're not trying to show anyone that we're not xenophobic. We're not trying to make.
And her comment says we are the next white people, which is insane. My thing, silly, South Africa being one of the most powerful countries in Africa, right? Mm-hmm. Kenya is also in that realm, right? Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa.
I'm kind of feeling uncomfortable right now. Like the things that you're saying, I'm feeling very
uncomfortable. What have I
uncomfortable.
said that made you uncomfortable?
No, I'm feeling uncomfortable because, first of all, Somali people are not people that we are just supposed to like for no reason. Like, you guys are not...
I didn't say to like us for no reason.
I know, because you guys literally enslaved our people. The Somali Bantu are still going through a hell lot in Somaliland and all that stuff in Somalia. So, like, to think that...
The Zulu were never brought to Somalia.
Hold on. And no, but you cannot do that. Bantu people are all the same people. Even if you took a Makua person from Mozambique or Malawi, those are still our people. Zulu... people from Malawi, people from Mozambique, people from South Africa in general who are Bantu are all the same people. So for you to even differentiate and say, no, but we didn't take anyone from South Africa, that already on its own is wrong. It's wrong. You enslave our people. You enslave our people. You guys literally brag about literally conquering us. You brag about that. So for you to come here and be like, I just don't understand. For you to come here and say, I just don't understand.
Are you South African, right?
Say that again?
Are you South African?
Yeah, I'm South African.
There is no history of any trades from the current today South African nation of any slavery trades that went to East Africa.
That doesn't matter.
So I'm talking about South Africa. Why are you going into the Bantu debate? That's
history, because we were not even states during that time. So for you to use colonial states right now to make for you to use colonial states to make a point.
States because
you cannot do that. That's like me saying that I don't care about the transatlantic slave trade because at that time it was not a specific country. It was not West Africa.
Listen, if I don't use the colonial states, that means
you're not going to use your Somali power over here, bro. You're gonna have to get it together, bro. I'm sorry, me. I don't play with y'all. I don't like y'all.
I'm trying to actually prove
I don't like.
What Funk is in the place to be. He wrote she's right. Okay. Well, I don't know if you heard from the beginning, but as soon as the guy said that he is from Somali, she started going off and other people went off and said some stuff, you know, talking about, you know, Somalis, you know, bringing food, you know, that's not good for consumption and people got basically, but it's okay. We're going to hear the rest. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hear the rest. And now she's blaming Somalians for slavery of Bantu people. So let's continue.
I do not like my oppressors. You guys literally enslaved our people. To the South African people, who are literally, hold on, I'm forever awake. To the South African people who are literally in the comment section telling me to give this guy a chance, you guys do not know your history. They came During the East African slave trade, they came. The Somali people literally enslaved our people and took them all the way to Somalia. They took them to the Horn of Africa, and they continuously still do it. That's why there's a huge refugee camp in Kenya and Tanzania.
That's not true, but okay.
Yes, there is. Why would you even? You guys always do that. There's some of y'all who will lie and say it's not true, and then there's some of y'all who will literally be proud of it.
Can
You
I
guys
tell
need
you?
to go and do your research. Go and do your
You
research.
said something very important.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
counter
it.
what you said?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And if y'all who are in the comment section want to go there, you guys can go and talk to him somewhere else. I'm not talking to my.
Bob Funk wrote, now she said for the record, you guys literally enslaved our people. She's saying that. She said that was this morning, my time, right? You even see the time on my screen recording. You know, it was 8:32 at that moment. You know, when I paused. Now she said to a Somalian, "You guys literally enslaved our people." Wab Fong just wrote, "Well, it's the truth. Somalis have a reputation all over the world for a reason. So everybody feel free. Whether you agree or disagree with me is fine. We can dialogue, okay?" But when you say it's the truth, are you talking about the food that's not good for consumption, or are you talking about the fact that Somalis have enslaved South Africans? Feel free.
My oppressor. I am not. I wouldn't do it with a white person. I'm not doing it with them. I'm not doing it. You guys do not know. These people are not even black. These are Indians, Tamils.
Hold on, sister,
They're from the Arabs. They're the black Arabs.
We are
She said these people are not even black.
sorry about the uncle, his uncle. But what about the food poisoning? A lot of kids in South Africa are dying because of what they sell to our kids.
Yeah, but
Because this one
at the end of the day,
person
like I understand these stories. We can all reason with stories, but I'm not allowing people. It's like a white person coming and telling me that their father was unalived in a white farmer murder.
Young Hero is in the place to be.
By a South African person. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it. I need y'all to understand on this side of TikTok, you guys can go somewhere else. Somewhere else. You guys can go to Africa side of TikTok where you guys enjoy Horn of Africans. You guys can go there. Not here. We don't put Horn of Africans.
Young Hero is asking, what's this about? What's the topic? Well, the title is South Africa, no xenophobia, question mark. And once again, I got love for my people everywhere. I got love for my people in South Africa. I'm just not about denying reality and people we hear when I ask a very simple question. Now, Wild Funk wrote, I was talking about the food and general business practices. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. But my issue is, should we blame a person who is part of who comes from a country where some of the people from that country are doing bad stuff, because there's good and bad everywhere, you know? And people have the right to talk about something that affects their community or that affects people in their country. It's fine. But I thought it was a bit strange the way she went at him over something that took place in the past. And that reminds me when some people say that they hate Africans because of the slave trade, but yet they don't say that they hate Europeans because of the slave trade. Reality is because of their belief system, you know, and you all know that example very well here.
As a people, I hate Africans because of what they did to my people.
Anyway, let's continue. Feel free. Whether you agree or disagree with me, it's fine. We can dialogue. There's some more to listen to. Let's go.
Come here to come talk about themselves here. Never. You see how it made us look? You guys will talk crap. You South Africans will talk crap about Nigerians, but you can't call to order Somalian people who are doing the same thing in South Africa? Are you kidding me? Keep the same energy.
That's true.
Now, Wab Funk wrote, well, Somalis actually refuse to be black Africans. They boast, he meant to write they, I'm sure there's a Y missing. They boast about being the original Arabs. Now, I wasn't aware of them boasting to be the original Arabs, but yes, I'm aware that some Somalis, you know, do not consider themselves black. I did mention a newspaper when I was living in England, and there was a person, I think he was a radio host, and there was a quote, a citation from him saying, you know, we're not black or something like that. So some yes, who say things like that, you know, Some, but then I would not say that they all feel like that or all say that. Young Hero wrote, okay, let's continue. Feel free whether you agree or disagree. Let's dialogue.
Can I speak, please?
Can I say something?
Yeah,
I
but
just wanted to see where he was going.
We don't want Somali.
no, there's no place he's going. Your oppressor can never go anywhere where it will make you understand. Never. That's why it's very quick for him to say, but I just feel like can you imagine Somali people having the nerve to say someone is xenophobic? Somali people literally marry inside their families. They refuse. They marry their cousins because they refuse. They have to stay pure. They look at black.
Now, for those who don't know, there are many people who marry among cousins. North Africans or Berber people that sometimes are mislabeled Arabs, they do that a lot. And there are many people in Asian countries and even outside of Asia who do marry amongst cousins. You know, it's not something that's particular to Somalis. You know, let's continue.
Black people and they call us jarirs. A person who has a racial slur for my people. Jarir means people with big noses, kinky hair. For a person who has a racial slur for my people, you do not get to come here and ask me why my people do the things that they do to yours.
Now, she mentioned, you know, the kinky hair, right? So I'm just going to, now Wafong wrote that's true too. I'm just going to play that 3-minute clip because he's talking about kinky hair thus far, you know, and he gets a pass, you know, because he says that we got kinky hair after rebelling from God. And he talked about us, black people, being marked and disfigured.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
So this teaching of the Nation of Islam, and we heard it from their leader, Louis Farrakhan, to my knowledge, there is not a single Pan-African organization that has stated that they disagree. French-speaking Pan-African organization or French-speaking Pan-Africans, members of Pan-African organization, or French speakers, members of Pan-African organization, and that's been going on for years. Let's continue.
Leave me alone.
Can I speak, please?
Leave me alone. Go ahead, my forever.
Yeah, thank you very much.
The
Greetings
mothers
to
are
all.
disrespectful.
Yeah, greetings to all. My parents are from Haiti. I live in France, and I've been online for 20 years, and I love my people, Black people, African people, everywhere. I don't judge people based on where they are from, but based on their action and what they are thinking. So I'm a bit surprised because it seems like the host was blaming that individual for what was done before, you see? And the main question I wanted to ask really, do people deny that in South Africa, there are cases of xenophobia where people who did not commit any crime have been killed? Do people deny that?
We are not xenophobic, brother.
No, brother,
Can I-
hold on,
Can I
please,
comment
please,
on that?
please.
Hold on.
I did not say that you are xenophobic. Who just said that, please?
Guys, we need to give each other a chance.
Yeah, who just said we are not xenophobic? Who
No,
was
no
it?
one said they
Can I
deny.
explain?
We never go ahead.
No, hold on, please.
Can I
Hold on.
can I explain to you?
No, hold
Can
on.
I explain
Hold
to you?
on. I'm just asking. Is it Tyrone T? Are you the one who said we are not xenophobic?
I'm Tyrone.
Yeah.
I'm South African, but let me tell you something.
Okay, no, but hold on. Let's do one at a time, please. Did I say that you are xenophobic, brother?
You said that the
Do we
question
deny?
was yes.
Okay, let me repeat the question, please. Do people
Okay, President.
deny that in South Africa there are cases of xenophobia where foreigners who have not committed any crimes have been killed? That was my question. So I never said that you, whether it's a singular you or general you, meaning several people are xenophobic. There's good and bad everywhere. So feel free, brother
For me, I
Tyrone.
want you to go deep. When you say cases, do you have facts?
Okay. Listen, we can take it from there. Now, are you saying that there were no cases in South Africa when foreigners who did not commit any crimes have been killed? That's my question. You can say yes or no. Feel free. I'm not going to force you.
No.
Now I'm going to answer you on that. Can I answer you on that and give you reasons?
Now, you heard I asked the question 3 times at this point, right? And still until now, I didn't get an answer, right? So when you ask a question, you have an answer. You repeat the question, you still don't have an answer, right? That lets you know they don't want to answer. The question is inconvenient. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue.
On your statement that you just made, listen, in the beginning, South Africans had never a problem with anyone coming into South Africa, right? It was the arrogance that started everything. Foreigners outside of South Africa, they need to sort out their poor governance, because when they came here, everything is peaceful. We in South Africa don't fight each other.
No.
There's different
Okay, so basically, Tyrone, you're just not answering my question, right? You know, it's just
want to explain.
No, you're running from the question, brother.
I am going to answer you in this. What
Were
I'm
there
telling
any
you.
cases of xenophobia when foreigners who did not commit any crimes have been killed? Yes or no, brother? Please.
No.
Wait. Hold on. You're making as if
There was no case, so no.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
I want to tell him.
Thank you.
hold on. There is no case. where someone was unalive. Just I don't know why people think South Africans just wake up one day and say, I'm gonna go and unalive an African national, like we some goofies. Does that even make logical sense? That we just wake up and we're like, this person doesn't have a case, but because they come from that country, I'm just gonna go and unalive.
Well,
Do you have that
know,
case? Maybe if you can present us
sister,
with the
please
case.
calm down. I'm not your enemy.
No, wait, don't.
Now, Wab Funk wrote, just say yes. It's no secret that South Africa has had issues with xenophobia. Just tell the truth. But that's how it is. And you don't need to look for people who live far away. People from Zimbabwe. Many people from Zimbabwe, neighboring country, have been attacked and some have been unalived. It's a new term now, you know. Social network, apparently it's better to use that word rather than the word that starts with a K. Some people are just denying reality, you know. And notice I asked a very simple question. I had to repeat the question, and you heard the person in the beginning, you know, in the beginning, you know, God said, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people are like that. You ask a very simple question and they want to give you a lecture, they want to give you a lesson about something, you know. Let's continue.
Say calm down to me. Don't say calm down.
This is not an order, sister. I'm being
But
cool.
don't say calm
I'm being
down.
respectful to you. This is not an order.
No one is not being respectful. I'm also being respectful, but don't say calm down. I talk loud. I'm African. We talk loud. We talk like this.
Well,
so just get used to it.
I know Africans Africans don't just talk loud because they're Africans.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh, you don't know us then.
Okay.
You're in the right place. You're going to learn this.
I know Africans very well. I leave them.
She said, you don't know us, right? And some people not only deny reality, but they make up stuff, you know what I'm saying? They make rules now, you know. Africans, they are just loud, you know what I'm saying? But hey, it's all good. Let's continue. And you see, just because I said calm down, she acts like I said something bad, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay. Usually it's like that. You have a dialogue with a person about a topic, right? They're running from the reality of the topic, and then they try to portray you as if you are disrespectful in somehow, some way, as if there's something wrong with you. It's a technique, you know, it happens a lot.
Among Africans, I'm of African
well, I'm
descent.
telling you, this African comes from an African household.
So
that is
you want to
very
change the
loud.
subject? Fine, no problem. Okay.
We are
now,
very loud.
I had. Not all Africans are very loud. You know. Now, I had testimonials.
Hey, bro. Black people are loud. We loud and we love it.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Fine. No problem. As long as we are calm, it's okay. We don't have to, you know, get angry at each other. I had
sir, I'm really getting bored. I'm getting bored with the way that you're going. You're using that weird taming situation.
Okay, I'm just trying to say a sentence,
you're
right?
Starting to sound like
I'm just trying to say,
like, chill, relax.
I'm just trying to say a sentence and talk about something else.
No, just talk.
I had testimonials from South Africans themselves who told their stories. There are reports. Now, there's good and bad everywhere. I'm not saying, hold on. I don't know what happened. Yes, I'm not saying that all South Africans are xenophobic, but there were cases that were reported by South Africans themselves. Sometimes it's because they were married with some foreigners that they've been attacked and chased. Their family members have been killed and they did not commit any crimes. You know, so there's good and bad everywhere. I love my people everywhere.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Peace to everybody. Thank you.
Let me tell you something to South African people. There are going to be individuals who are.
Now, you could see, even though it was in French, that sometimes and you can see the icon, sometimes my microphone was muted, you know, so I had to unmute myself, but it's okay. Now, at the end, what she said, you know, I stopped the recording for my mobile phone, but she said, and I remember, there are some people who are going to come and they're going to bait you. And I think she said, you know, don't fall for it or something like that, or just be aware of it, something like that. But that's what she said. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to act like I came here to bait somebody. But some people are just denying reality, running from reality. Yes, indeed. I've met some South Africans who told their story about their family members being on the live simply because they are foreigners and they did not commit any crimes. But what you heard at one point, you know, they try to act like, some people are trying to act like, oh, it's because they did something bad. It's because they committed a crime. We have some videos of Haitians being attacked in the Dominican Republic. And usually when it is shared or commented about, people say, oh, he did this, she did that. He committed that crime. He stole. They always committed a crime. It's like there's no racism at all in the Dominican Republic. Some Haitians have been unalived in the Dominican Republic because of racism. It is a reality. Am I saying that all Dominicans or inhabitants of the Dominican Republic are racist against dark-skinned people or black-skinned people? No, I'm not saying that. There are good and bad everywhere. There are many Haitians who do live in the Dominican Republic and they don't have any problems, but many Haitians had problems, and it was due to racism. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do now is to share a different stream just after this one. I think you will see. I try to get on, but I wasn't put on the panel. Sometimes people don't see that you try to get on. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna hear what was said, and it's just sad in my opinion. So let's go.
In the world, but the very same perpetrators, they are our brothers from Africa. We are in a top ranking that no, if you go to South Africa, you mustn't go to that place and that place and that place because there is a high rate of corruption. That's the stats worldwide. But those illegal activities are not done by South Africans. They are done by our brothers. Then they even manipulate the vulnerable people in South Africa to join, so that when they defend their statement, they will say, no, even South Africans are doing corruption. They are doing corruption in South Africa. Why they are not corruption? They are not corrupting the state. There is a state in Nigeria. They must go and corrupt the state there, not here in South Africa. Thank you, brother.
Guys, I want us to start the show time so that you can have your 5 minutes uninterrupted. Maybe we can reduce to 3 so that we can be quick. Where is that button? There we go. Let us start. 3 minutes each. We'll start from Sister Laura. Go ahead. Sister Laura.
I'm here, host.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was busy with something. Yeah, host, I was saying, Hore, I get why the Nigerians are coming, and some of them are going to change their tunes in terms of what they thought of us. But the sad part is no one is coming to apologize. Nobody's coming to apologize. It's unfortunate that nobody is coming from a Nigerian area to say, you know what, we apologize. We called you guys, Xenophobes. We didn't know how severe the illegal immigrant and fraudster that's happening in Home Affairs. Without blame shifting, they could just apologize, but nobody wants to apologize. Nobody wants to say sorry because of the arrogancy. But I hope they understand how serious the scamming and the frauding and how rotten the system is that we're trying to fix. And next time they must just understand instead of labeling and shaming us. It's not fair. It's not fair to, and most of them are also deflecting. Did the white people deflect it? That's nothing to do with you yet. At all. So
F1, say Muzungu. F1.
Oh, Muzungu. Oh, okay. Musungu. So I just wish that they just, but right now they're in shame, and they are literally embarrassed. I'm just glad that it's not us who's embarrassed at this point, because we did right by our country. But they won't apologize and they won't host lives like this anymore on Chidima. And I'm glad that it's over. I'm really glad that it's over. At some point, we were stressed out, and I get your frustration, host. To be honest, it's even when you hear them when they come up on the platform, you are irritated. I understand, because the first thing they do is they want information. What happened? And the ones that know what happened don't want to apologize. Because they don't care about. They don't care about our country, host. They don't. They just wanted to have some power over us. And again, like I said, we won. So Yeah, this is a day to be celebrated, to celebrate South Africans. And the people that call us brothers and sisters, where are they now? To say we messed up as peace, sorry. They're not here. They rather just sit around and just keep quiet in shame, because now you see their true agenda.
Can you imagine? You gave birth to
the true agenda.
They turn against you.
Yeah. I remember that.
Wabfunk wrote, apologize for what? Taking your jobs? The rest of Africa helped you gain independence like yesterday. 1995 is yesterday.
They won't apologize. Thank you, host.
Guys, let us tap to 600K so that we can add more panelists. If you want to be rotating here, let us tap to 500K. Go ahead, my sister. Are you there, the talking king? I think she's busy at work. Let's move.
Hi, host.
Sister Rara.
Firstly, I want to say you need moderators. We were on your live this morning and we're just laughing at some guy just going off and I think you were sleeping. But anyway, I'm not even here to fetch people from Nigeria. I'm here to fetch people from South Africa who we kept saying that we want South Africa for South Africans, and they kept telling us, trying to give us histories of what happened back in the day, nara, what, and so forth. Like, we didn't go to school, like, we don't know the history, even though there were countries that actually helped us during apartheid. Countries like Nigeria and so forth, they did the least, the least. And right now we're talking about they have how many years? Is it 63 or 65 years of independence? Yet, I don't know, like, why is it that they don't want to fix their country? Like, why don't they want to fix it? We're the youngest country, but yet we are the ones who have to be carrying. I bet if we allowed what happened, and I'm actually glad the South Africans came together, because if it wasn't for South Africans, that girl was going to walk on this stage and she was probably going to win. And she was not only going to win Miss South Africa, she was probably going to win Miss Universe, because when she was going to get there, she's going to be talking about how she had to fight very hard to get to where she is. And right now, people are like, I heard Zimi here talking about, no. What about the victims? What about the same child who's in varsity right now or wherever and they can't get rid? You know how many people are complaining about identity fraud? How many people can't even go to school or whatever? There was a lady, I read her story yesterday saying that somebody took her, they were 3 months apart, somebody took her identity of the child and they had to fight for 6 years. Imagine fighting for 6 years. Do you know Home Affairs lines, first of all? Do you guys know how long that Home Affairs line is? Like, you can't be saying, Lord, this is something small. She's not a victim. She's not a victim. We've been asking from day one, where are her parents? Why isn't any of her parents coming forward to actually confirm that, no, listen, I'm the mother, I'm half South African? They were very quiet. There is no way that my child is going to enter such a competition, get so much backlash, and I'm just going to keep quiet. That's when I knew, something is very, very suspicious here. Because there's no way that they can. The only person who came forward was, I think, the father. And the father was already Nigerian. And now there's even stuff that people are busy now coming out with stories that her ex-husband that she divorced, whatever, was also dealing with powder and all these things. Like, imagine, that's the kind of person who's going to represent my kid, my baby. Hell no. We're not Xeno. We're not Xeno. We're just saying South Africans for South Africans. And I'm actually glad. Actually, I'm looking for Martin, Lunga, and Lulu. I want them to come here and to come make the same noise that they were making. Because never papel. Never kalamas. Oh, it's pity. Never kalamas. That's what I'm going to say. They can't come here and tell us those things as South Africans and want us to actually defend that kind of nonsense. And then now that the nonsense blew up in their face, now they ran away. They're quiet. Where the hell are they?
Sanbonani, how are you? Go ahead, brother. Brother, you gave 3 minutes, but it's too little. But anyway, it's fine. We've been fighting this, and we knew we were right. Today, we have been proven as South African that we are correct. Now, I'm asking, where are those IT that were here? All those Nigerians that were stuck on here, embarrassing us, talking nonsense here, they are not here now. Can you see these people, how dirty they are? They are not here now. Where are they now? Because that's what they always do. Everything they do, they manipulate it so that you can be confused. Their aim is to make sure that they want to take over South Africa. That's their agenda. And these people are being sent by the white monopoly because they don't have money.
Say Muzungu. F1 guys, F1.
Muzungu monopoly. Yeah. So I'm saying this because they are being funded to do this thing here, to destroy all South African countries. In Kenya, they are being chased away. In Congo, same story. There's a house that is burning even now as I'm talking. That where they are selling this powder. Nobody loves them because of first their arrogance. Secondly, they want to claim because why they are in population in their country. They are a lot. And they are fighting because these Uruba are fighting so all those they are fighting there. The North is fighting with East and they got problems there. And they want to take those problems and Boko Haram and so on to come and plant it here in our country. We cannot allow that. This is our country. We must defend it by everything in power. So I'm happy now they are exposed. The only thing we're left with now, let us send all.
Now, for the record, earlier the lady said, we are not Xeno, we're just saying South Africa for South Africans, right? Now, it doesn't sound bad for people from a country, okay, let's say it is Liberia, and somebody say Liberia for Liberians, or somebody's from Eritrea, and he says Eritrea for Eritreans, right? But when we hear people say things like that in Western countries, it sounds different. It sounds different. The thing is that what's behind it? What if a person is not South African, right? And once again, for those who just arrived recently, I have love for my people everywhere. I don't judge people based from where they are from. They are good and bad everywhere, right? But there were cases of xenophobia, and what we are hearing is the rationale for the xenophobia, right? Some people may be involved in narcotics, but it doesn't mean that every single person that comes from that country is doing this, right? You know, some innocents, some people who did not commit a crime, have been unalived simply because they were foreigners. And earlier you heard a lady say, oh, you need to do your research. I'm not doing research for you and stuff like that, you know. And you know what, sometimes when I tell people, okay, you know, hey, I'm from France, you know what I'm saying? My person from Haiti, maybe they think that I don't know what's going on, you know, in other countries, you know what I'm saying? So you've heard some people, you know, like a fake advocate who claimed that she was suing Filthy Frankie, and basically it was just a cease and desist, and then she had enough to say, you're not from America, you don't know the law. Cease and desist is not a lawsuit. It doesn't take like a year to sue somebody, you know what I'm saying? So some people will lie, but they will use your geographic location kind of against you. They will try anyway, you know. Now, then you heard that other person talking about Nigerians, and he said, can you see those people, how dirty they are? And he goes on, and Wild Funk wrote LOL, ridiculous. Then he added FBA.
All these Nigerians back before we find ourselves in trouble. Send everything back. Nigerians back before we find ourselves in power. So I'm happy now they are exposed. The only thing we're left with now, let us send all these Nigerians back before we find ourselves in trouble. Send everything back so that we are in peace. We rather start with the Nigerians, then Somalians. Those are the dangerous people in South Africa, and they are involved in very horrible fights that are a danger in the world. We never trust those people. They can sacrifice anything just to destroy. They don't have any mission of.
Now, you heard a person say, let us send all these Nigerians back. I think we're supposed to deal with the troublemakers. Bob Funk wrote reparations for FBS only. Like the diaspora is really interested in stealing your reparations. That's one argument that they have, but mainly we know it comes from Tariq Nasheed, who's acting like, either non-black Americans want to benefit from reparations given by the United States of America because of the slave trade, because of slavery, right? Or he will try to highlight the fact that some Africans are against the reparations in the United States. Just a lot of talking points. But the reality is that there are many instances where we have heard Tariq Nasheed disrespecting Africans on a very regular basis. So he has his feelings towards Africans, and he's using some narrative to justify his feelings towards Africans. But the sad truth with FBA, which stands for Foundational Black Americans, many times I have shown you as I was live streaming the website, the FBA website, and there was not a single thing about reparations. However, there's selling of gear, shirts, and all that, right? Now he's allowed and free to sell shirts and hats and whatever he wants, but they act like they are so eager for reparation. He has nothing about reparation on the website. Now he may update it tonight or tomorrow, but the many times I went, there was nothing. And you know what? Let's do this now. Let's do this now. Let's have a look. Let's do this. Let's do this now. Real time. Hold on. Okay. So here on the search engine, I've put Foundational Black Americans. I hit the link. We are on the website. Okay. Now there is no menu. Okay. Usually it's at the top left, top right, or somewhere we have a menu, right? So we can go to the menu and choose. There's no reparation menu because there's no menu at all. So I do a search and I start putting reparation 0, 0. Reparation 0. It has nothing about reparation on his website. Nothing at all.
Fixing, they only destroy. And we must not be apologetic and sympathetic about it. We must just send them away. We don't need Nigerians anymore. End of the story. Thank you very much.
Guys, tap the screen, tap the screen, guys.
Good morning, everyone. Molweni with love from Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, boy, yes.
So you can hear that somebody has gone on the panel and the host did not say anything about what was told, right? And he said, we must just send them away. We don't need Nigerians anymore. The host did not say anything like, no, we should just deal with those who are the troublemakers. Now, what if we have South Africans living in Nigeria and this is said, and some Nigerians are sent just because they are Nigerians, not based on what they have done? What will happen to those South Africans in Nigeria? How will those South Africans who made those statements that we've heard feel if they are in a country and because some South Africans did some crimes or committed some wrongdoings, then all South Africans are lumped in the same group? How will they feel? So I'm sharing the link for people to get on the panel if they want to. Otherwise, just feel free to participate in the chat. I would love to hear from you. I would like to hear your opinion. And if you know, now Wafong, you know some South Africans, so you feel free to invite them if they want to come and dialogue. I love my people everywhere. There's good and bad everywhere. But unfortunately, some foreigners have been unalived in South Africa simply because they were foreigners. They did not commit any crimes. And people heard me asking the question, and I had to ask it 4 times. So there's problems everywhere. We can talk, dialogue, and see what issues we can agree upon, what resolutions, right? Once again, you have that person here who said that he hates Africans.
As a people, I hate Africans because of what they did to my people.
He's from America. He's a Black American or an African American, right? And many people agree with him. Many people are members of his organization, a Black Hebrew Israelite organization. And I know very well that just because he said that, it doesn't mean that all Black Americans agree with him or say that or believe that. And I would not even say it's half of Black Americans who feel that way. Now, not only he said that he hates Africans, he said that he celebrates the death of Africans, which means that when Africans die, he celebrates. It's a celebration, you know the song. And I know very well it doesn't mean that all or not even half of Black Americans believe this statement, agree with that statement. There's good and bad everywhere. So what say you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, whoever you are? What's your take on that? Do you remember not long ago, I played, let me just share the link in the chat. I actually communicated with the sister. I've let her know that I did a live stream. I've sent the link to the live stream to her, so she's aware. That lady who talked about dangerous Kemetic people. And her, and particularly another brother from the motherland, making excuses for killers. There it is. You have the link in the chat. Dangerous Kemetic people. You have her and another person from the motherland making excuses for killers. Why? Because they have the same religion as them. People who went to an African country and killed people just because they have the same religion as them, they made excuses. JTV is in the place to be. How you doing, brother? It's chaotic in England. Now, I came across a video, and it was from one of these news agencies in England, and it was saying that you have countries warning people about traveling to England. Now it looks like the I don't even want to say the name. I don't want to give them advertisement, but this far right group, they went to, apparently they went to England. They probably went to the posh places. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't make it. You know, like people say to, you know, Hackney and, you know, Brixton, and, you know, people were waiting for them. Now, once again, still we have plenty of footage of people looting, stealing, throwing rocks at the police. Some of them even, you know, fighting with the police, you know, throwing blows. Now, many have been arrested. Many have been arrested, and many more will be arrested. Everybody can see that we don't have that much of a narrative of, look at those people looting, broad daylight, fighting the police, broad daylight. We've seen police cars destroyed, and it's white people doing that, mainly in England. It would have took way less black people doing the same, and it would have been all over the news, all over the media. Besides that fact, the situation is chaotic in England. JTV is in the place to be. How you doing, brother? Can you hear me, JTV? You're muted right now. Maybe he's busy, but he's on mute.
Sorry,
Whenever
Shaka,
he's
give me
ready.
1 second. 1 second,
Take
sorry.
your time, brother. Take your time. Okay. So feel free in the chat, and if you want to get on the panel, I have shared the link already. I'm sharing it again. And now we're going to hear from our brother JTV, who lives in England. If you know South Africans, feel free to invite them to dialogue. They can participate in the chat or get on the panel. I love my people everywhere. I'm not blaming all South Africans. There's good and bad everywhere. I'm not claiming at all that all South Africans do practice xenophobia. However, xenophobia is a reality in South Africa. It may not happen all the time, but sometimes, and it was not rare occasions, people who did not commit any crime were attacked, they were stolen from, and some were unalive simply because they were foreigners. What's up, JTV?
Shaka, what go on, brother?
Everything, Chris.
1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaka, man. Victory. London stand strong. Victory. Yeah, the EDL. Sorry, I just got up. Sorry, I've been very busy with my lives. 2P Shaka, my brother from France. Yeah. And look, I only roll with the real people, you know. You understand? People who are real and have evidence and stand up for the people, them, you know. And Shaka, from I know Shaka, he's very dear to me as my brother. You know, Brother Tar is another man that's very dear to me as well. There's many people out there, VB's my brother. Everyone is my brother and sister, you know what I mean? But Shaka is very close. I don't know him too well. You understand? But he's very close to my missus loves Shaka. But Shaka, right today, man, victory. The English Defence League they've stood down. They couldn't come nowhere down here. It's a victory, but in some way, Shaka, they have won because my shop owner, he's Afghanistan. He's from Afghanistan, Omar. He didn't open his shop. And I don't know how long he hasn't opened his shop. I went out on the street and the feeling, trust me, Shaka, it is really, I ain't gonna cry still, you know, but it's hurtful, Shaka, because the stuff that we've been through in this country, right? And we don't really fight against, you know, the white people because we're under a lot of pressure, but they keep doing this and they always try to come for the black man, you know, under a disguise. They use other little tactics, maybe like Muslim, but for some reason they have a problem with us, and we've done them no wrongs, Shaka. We've done them no wrongs, you know, especially the West Indians. We're from the Commonwealth, and so we've paid our price through slavery. We've paid our price through all the ills that they've done to us, and we normally assimilate into the English culture. There's many other cultures come to England, and I understand that in some ways England is under a threat. Yes, England is not the same. It's not the same. But that's no excuse to now behave in the way that they are in 2024. My mother and my father, when they came to this country, they had to fight the BNP, the racist gangs, the skinheads. Okay? We've been here before. It's nothing new to us. But for myself, and what I can feel, there's a lot less people on the street. There's a horrible feeling. Everybody's on edge. You know, I tell you what, I was in the shop today and I heard an Englishman's voice, and Shaka, my face, I didn't even look at him. So people now have to prove themselves JTV that they are not racist. And you know, JTV love everybody. I've got friends and close friends from all nations. But where we are in this very troubling time is we don't know who we cannot differentiate, right? And this is the problem. Now, the initial condolences to the families in Southport. Now, this man is our brother, one of our brothers, Shaka. He is one of our brothers, and he has committed a horrible crime. And none of us black people support what he done. Right? We understand that, but he has been used as a
pretext.
Yes, sir. He's been used. They've been waiting.
A black boy was killed by a white man with a sword, you know, not long ago, you know.
Well,
so it's a horrible thing that happened indeed. This murder of these young girls, you know, it was a horrible thing. And like you said, of course, we don't support that. We don't make excuses for that. And some wrong information was shared saying that he was a migrant / illegal migrant. He was born in England. They also said that he was a Muslim. He's not Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So there it is. But feel free to continue, brother.
Yeah, Shaka. So it's very emotional for me because, you know, here we are again, fighting amongst, you know, amongst people that we have no problems with. We've never troubled them. We come here in peace and love, to be honest, and we've contributed a lot to this country. But unfortunately now, our people are in a position where, because we're not looking at Africa and we're not looking at wanting to go back home and be in our own home with our own rules, we are now underneath the rule of our oppressor. Okay, and they can do what they wish. Now we become a scapegoat. We become a scapegoat. Now I understand that many, especially Jamaicans. Yes, I can talk about the Jamaicans. My mum and dad is Jamaicans. Many of them are involved in the drug trade in England. Many of them have been locked up. Many of them have killed many people. I know that. I know enough of them. Right?
But I would like to interject.
Sorry, go on.
There's people from all different countries who participate in the narcotic trade and all the different things. We have to be. I think we have to be careful, you know. But feel free, continue, brother.
Sorry, I am not. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying. But what I'm trying to say is, every time it's us, it's a problem. Everybody else, I've done all the statistics. I've done all my hard work over this side, and I cannot see where these people are coming from. I don't know what. There is no dialogue, so we don't know exactly what they want. They're going to areas. They're throwing rocks at the police. If they catch they beat up a black man in Manchester. We don't know how many people have really been killed or have been assaulted in this time. Now, places like north of England, where they have a lot of white areas, you saw what they done to England. They burned down a library, Shaka, a library. Now the parents of these 3 children, they had a funeral. You know, so sad, man. Really, trust me, I find it very difficult not to cry because it's emotional, because people are using a tragic event and they're pushing a disgusting agenda of war, of hatred, right? And here we are again. But as I said, they came. I don't know if you know. Do you know Leighton, Shaka?
No, I don't know Leighton, but I've seen many videos. People are saying, you know, Croydon, you know, different areas of London. They say, just come, we're waiting for you. Where are you at? Where, you know what I'm saying?
It's a wrap. It's a wrap, Shaka.
Croydon, so many
Shaka,
places.
they can't
like,
come.
You know,
So,
yeah.
Shaka, right now, the power of black people, and we are a minority, and it's not, I don't want no one to hijack this. it is us, the black people, right? Stop the far right once again, because it's nothing new to us, Shaka. You know what I mean? I don't know, you know, but look, it's not over. It's not over. I've heard of, in my chat, I've seen people talking about bombs, right? So it's not over, Shaka, and I don't want my people to be let their guard down. But we must use this as a clear marker. And I don't know how other people feel about this. It's up to them, but it's a long time. We need to be in our own countries, separate ourselves away from these people. Okay, these people are barbarians, right? Now, I'm not saying we're not barbarians. We can be. I understand exactly what you're showing us today with South Africa and Nigeria. But to be honest, sometimes these things, I don't know, it has a certain element of Britishness to it, especially Nigeria and South Africa. So these tactics have been taught to us across the whole globe, as far as Jamaica. Okay, but I feel our people really need to, I mean, not really for myself. My days are, I'm getting on to the other side of life. But the young children, man, I don't want them to go through this, you know. And yeah, so sorry, Shaka. I just,
no, it's all good.
I'm just
It's
a
all
bit
good. You know,
emotional,
it's all
sir.
good. No, it's okay. I understand you. You know, I mean, you're on the ground, you're on the land where all these things has been happening, and the reality is that it was racial tensions, right? So we've seen many people saying they're taking out jobs. You know, there's this clip that I have on my YouTube channel. It's a short, and there's a person who said, "Oh, they're taking out jobs and they're not even working." And the lady asked her, "How do they take your job if they're not working?" And he said, "They're doing it at the end of the day, you know." And so we hear many things, but the reality, racial tension. You know, you mentioned two different, group of, far right, group. The reality, it is because of racial tension that turned into racial violence. It is a reality. Some black people have been attacked solely because of their skin tone, not because they've committed a crime or something. But we've seen all these white people committing crimes in their own community, looting, stealing, destroying, attacking the police vehicles. We've seen many vehicles of the police on fire. I've seen a police station or substation in flames, right? Oh, if it was black people doing that, the narrative will be different. You know what I'm saying? So indeed, people have to be careful and not let their guard down. There's good and bad everywhere, but it's important to keep in mind that some people will smile at you, talk nice to you, but inside they have these racial feelings, and one day it may come out.
Yes, the time has come again. And as I said, Shaka, it's nothing new to me. I mean, funny enough, Shaka, I think I was on your show, and I actually done a shorts about it, and I did say to you, and I said that they are trying to kill. Because I knew people that were in the English Defence League. I'm in England, and I hear things, and I see things. I see how they're operating, and I'm like, you know what? I knew this was gonna happen. And I knew they were just waiting for a specific time, a specific moment that the black people done something, and that was it. So, all I can say is just anyone in the UK, just be aware of your surroundings, and agree or disagree with JTV, you know what I mean? Yeah, and but they've been defeated in a big way. But the war's not over. But they've been defeated, because if they was truly a proper organization without fear, okay, with reasonable grounds, with their God supporting them, there's no way that they couldn't walk down this street. This is their street, they said. They said that they're taking their country back, Shaka. We've not
Yeah, they
taken their
said that
country.
many
The
times.
country's, yeah, the country's still here. I look in, I woke up, I said, what? The country's gone. I said to Mama, the country's gone. When I said, it's still here. You know, all these pathetic things. We also got people that have been locked up for violent disorder. They are apologizing for what they did. But I'm telling you
Yes.
now,
Crying in
you
court.
see, there's no apology. Them days are done. We need to pack up and go to Africa and be at home and have our own rules under noon science. Believe you me, because these people, for some, they use the black man as a scapegoat at every time. If they're not using us, they're abusing us. It's like we're here for their entertainment. And that's why I did say what I said the other day with the situation with the people trying to go into the theme park. Now, it wasn't disrespect to you, Shaka, but it was like, I get this feeling like sometimes it's like we're forcing ourselves to
What's the theme park, brother? What's the theme park?
A theme park. I think you had a video of a black group being not allowed into a venue.
That's swimming. That's swimming. Okay, yes. It has 900,000
So-
views so far. Yeah.
And yes, and great video and a great point. But what I was trying to get onto your live, but I couldn't get on for some reason, and then you went. So let me explain. Now I'm in England, so I know it truly very well, and obviously Jamaica is a part of the Commonwealth. Is a mini England. It's like a England, but a black people are there. But it's England. English laws, English customs mixed with our ways. But to be honest, it's an English island. It's an English island. So time and time again, I see our people. It seems that we stand on a. I understand it to say, right, I am free now, and I want to be accepted. Like even if, for an example, a group is going to a venue, and you're getting any racist vibes, turn your back. Go. You shouldn't even go there in the first place. I understand people say, well, they have a right.
But I would like to interject, brother. The thing is that I've shared a video. It's titled "Entry Refused for What Reason," but I've just put theme park so people can check that link. Many people have said the same thing as you. Why go there? Why waste your money there? But the thing is that they have booked the place. They paid to go in that place. For their children to have fun, right? So when you go there, you're not just gonna be told no, you can't get in. You cannot get in, and just turn back and leave immediately. You had prepared that even. So I understand the conversation that took place. You see, now some people are saying, okay, lawsuit. It takes money. It takes time. Maybe it was done. You see, but on the spot, even if it was myself, I would have asked for explanation. Like, what's the reason? What's the motive, right? Because there's no clear motive besides talking about, on social media. Many people said it was 500 people who turned up. I did not see 500 people, but we'll see later on. Maybe we'll have more information, you see. But when you're on the spot, you book the place, right? You don't necessarily think, okay, because of our skin color or some funny excuse, they're not just going to let us in, you see. So I hear you. And now going home, feeling home, I understand, but we have to be careful because we heard some, xenophobic statements, and some people have been on the live. It's not just I don't like you for this and that reason. I'm talking about people being on the live, killed just because they were foreigners. We have to be careful about where we are going, and also there's that example, right, of people making excuses for killers just because they have the same religion as them, So through dialogue, I think that, we will get somewhere, but we have to know the reality. We cannot deny the reality. Some people will have no problem with you being killed, and they will make excuses for the people who killed you just because they have the same religion as them. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a reality.
Absolutely. And but we're under the same judgment here, Shaka. We're under the same judgment, and due to our failures in not wanting to leave, situations like what you showed can happen and will happen. And it hurts me. It hurts me. I was crying the other day when I saw the black man in front of a choir, a white choir. And my missus saying, why are you crying? Why are you crying? And I couldn't tell her why, you know. But the reason why is like, look how wicked, look how wicked the Christians have been to black people. Look how wicked they're part in the you know, in our history. How wicked. And now 2024, I have a black brother standing in front of a choir, leading the choir. You know, it make me, these things make me cry, Shaka. You know, I just feel like my people they're lovely people. You know, we're a good people. You know what I mean? But we're just being abused by every and anybody. And because we don't really have like this kind of home for ourselves, or we have this fear on going home. I understand that. I get it. But these things are happening right in the UK. Right in the UK. I could lose my life in the UK. And you know what? Sometimes it's not a white person. You can be done by your own brother. My initial enemy right now is a person with the same color of skin as me. Yeah.
But it will not be because of your skin color. You know, it will not be because you're black that, you know, your own kind will, you know, analyze
no
or attack you, you see.
No. But again, many have, I mean, you know, so I could, the list goes on, but yeah, Shaka, I'm gonna step down, but I'm, you know, or unless you want me to stay up here, I want you to dialogue. You know what I mean? I've done enough thinking.
You know, I mean, I have time. You know what I'm saying? I have time.
Yes.
I actually had a Medu Nature class scheduled, but the brother cannot make it. You know what I'm saying? So I have even more time. You know what I'm saying? So feel free. You know, if you want to stay, if you want to. And the thing is that, you know, you mentioned. Yeah. Yes. And you know, you mentioned, you know, what was done by Christians, you know, the slavery, the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, and of course there was the sub-Saharan slave trade practiced by Arabs, practiced by Muslims, and that usually is swept under the rug mainly by Pan-Africans. You know, when they talk about colonialism, you know, they talk about, you know, what was done by the Westerners, but what was done by the Asians, they barely talk about it, you know. So colonialism done by the Easterners, you know, they welcome it with open arms. But what's happening on social media, mainly on TikTok, Kemetic people are being attacked. They're creating groups, they're doing live streams going against Kemetic people. We have many brothers and sisters from African countries that are mainly Muslims, like Mali. Mali is like 99% Muslim, right?
Yes.
And you have brothers and sisters who are no longer following the Abrahamic belief systems, and they are turning towards the ancient African ways, like Ma'at, like Kemet. So it is very heated. There are many people going against Kemetic people and traditional African believers, right? Different traditional African belief system. Now, I want to say to people, be careful. There are many people, you will see them with seashells, you know, maybe you have some other terms, and, you know, they will just be asked a question and throw those seashells. I want to make sure if that's the proper word. If I put, hold on. I just want to have the right word. Hold on. Seashells, because maybe you call it something else in yeah, I think that's how you call it. Just want to check if I put French. Yeah, they may have some other terms, but anyway, they claim to be into the traditional African ways, you know, and they ask a question: oh, am I going to get this job? Am I going to get back with my ex? And they just throw it on the floor, and they answer yes or no, and they say, okay, you know, just call me privately. And I'm just saying, beware, be careful, you know, because a lot of people claim to have some powers to be able to tell you things, but for the most part, it's just luck. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, everybody feel free to do what you want. Now, besides that, there was some mental slavery. There was, right? But with this information and this way for us to communicate, um, it's not like you used to be, right? But there are many Pan Africans, right? They will claim to be into the traditional African ways of life, like Kemet, Ma'at, and others, right? But really, they're playing, they're like double agents. Beware. And
Right.
as you have seen, when I show people who say that, who teach that Africans are living a jungle life, you don't see Pan Africans criticizing that. You don't see Pan Africans, and I'm talking about Pan African organization because many people claim to be Pan Africans. They never have joined a Pan African organization in their life. They're just saying that to sound good. Just like some people will say that they are Kemetic just to sound or look good, right? They cannot even read a single glyph. Not only they cannot read what we call Amen in English, Imen, or Ma'at, or Ra, they cannot even read that. Hotep, they cannot read that. But like a person said not long ago, even a uniliteral, a glyph that stands for a single sound, they cannot even read it. But usually Muslims, even if they don't speak Arabic, when they see Allah, they know it's Allah. So many people claim to be Kemetic. They don't know the text. They don't want to study. They don't want to learn it. They don't care at all. Some people, they criticize Kemetic people and say, oh, we come from West Africa, like we're going to have some people, you're going to say, oh, no, I don't have nothing to do with people on the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. Who knows how long it will take, right? But they say, oh, no, we're not from, maybe I made a mistake. They will say, no, we're not from East Africa. We're from West Africa, right? But they don't follow anything from West Africa. Now, Young Hero is greeting you, brother JTV.
Yo,
So
yeah. Sorry to cut you.
No, it's okay.
He just come into my mind, and I didn't say, shout out to everyone. But yeah, man, big up, Young Hero, man. Yeah, man, bless up.
So yes, there's a lot of people attacking Kemetic people, and maybe when I went on that panel, that lady earlier, the person who came on and started insulting me, it may be possible. Oh, we lost JTV. Okay, he's back. Okay, he's connecting back. Yeah, you're back, brother. So it may be one of the reasons, but slowly and surely we will see who is who, right? Now we've seen that person here who been talking about Kemet for so long, but he has shown how xenophobic he is. Now, once again, for those who don't know, Butler Reggie labeled the Kemetic pharaohs. I don't even need to say Kemetic pharaohs, but he labeled them crazy.
But I don't care. Listen, watch this, y'all. Look at me. I don't care about Egyptian pyramids. I think that they was a little cuckoo. I think they should have built a wall like the Wall of China. I think they would have been smarter to do that instead of building beacons to get attacked over and over again. I think those religious-minded ancient Kemetiu were cuckoo for Cocoa Pops for doing that.
You don't mean that, do you?
Huh?
You don't mean that, do you?
I definitely mean that. You don't know, Shaka? You know who you invited on this channel? Brother Reggie? Huh?
You're saying you think that the commissions were a bit
cuckoo
crazy?
For Cocoa Pops for doing that.
No, come on, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Why not?
No, you can't say that.
I got some time. Hey, look, the late period of ancient.
Why would you go that far?
Now, you heard him labeling the Kemetiu as crazy. Kemetiu is like saying Kemetic people or Commissions, right? Or Kemites, right? He labeled them crazy. Now, also, let's hear that.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Kemetics. I bang against them, and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
And you heard him say that he was banging against the Kemetics. Now, this same dude had no problem with the person who said that he hates Africans. This same dude, Butler Reggie, told an African, You have no standing in our community. You talk to your people, I talk to my people. You're an outsider. He told him that.
I remember
And
that.
he had no
Yeah, I
problem.
remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And he
I
had
remember
no
that. I
problem with
see
the
it.
dude. Yeah, he had no problem with the dude who said that he hates Africans until that dude labeled him fake Dr. Reggie. Then he took offense.
But they
He
still
said
go
it
over there
publicly.
again as
He
well,
said it
Shaka.
publicly. So,
I know. Sorry to
just want to
cut
say
you.
this, brother. No,
Yeah,
it's
go
okay,
on.
brother. It's all good. No, I'm going to let you speak after that.
Sorry.
This Butler Reggie. No, it's okay. No, you don't need to say sorry. It's all good. This Butler Reggie had no problem with Tazariak and other ISUPK members teaching that they hate Africans until Tazariak labeled him a fake doctor. And he is not a doctor. He has no PhD degree, right? Go ahead, JTV. Feel free.
Yeah. Again. You know, it's another example of how our people are really in a state of mental death. You know, we suffer with ignorance, and we uplift people that are not good for our community. It's like we praise them. You know, we honor them. Now, people like ourselves will be pushed along by the wayside when we're trying to uplift our people out of ignorance. Now, I never mention their name, and the reason why I don't mention their name, because this thing is bigger than them. There's been people before that have acted in this way, and there are people in our community that help in the destruction of our people. It is not a myth, and it just is a. But for myself, it's because we're still, it's like some of our people have become the master. You know, we now have, we try to be like our capture, the people who captured us. Right? We have such self-hate. We have our women don't want to wear their natural hair, buying hair from Asia, Shaka. They could be, all this hair could be taken off dead bodies. We don't know where these, you know, and hair is such a thing. And look at the beautiful hair that we have on our head. I mean, all my hair is dropping out, but I would never give this up for anyone. Now, myself, even my family, I have received hate, or I've been thrown by the wayside just because I grow my hair and I speak consciousness, and I have love for Africa, and I have love for my people. Right? In our community, they're not the only one. There's many. The one that's getting on my nerves at the moment, I might have to mention his name, Umar Johnson. I heard that he bought the land for $10, Shaka, and taking people's money. Now,
I don't think it was $10, but you know,
okay.
It's been over 10
allegedly,
years.
Allegedly.
It's been over 10 years. He said that he's gonna build that school, and I said 10 years. I think he was actually 14 years ago. But you know, he acquired the property a long time ago. Then you heard it was the HVAC that was, you know, needed, and then you heard it was the painting that was needed. There's always an excuse. It's never opening. You know what I'm saying? But you know, people probably they need another 5 years to open their eyes. But go ahead, brother.
Shaka, you see, accusations can be made. Okay, right? There's been accusations on you, okay? And I've been so hurt. I'm in my room here and I watch everything, Shaka. Nothing don't pass me, you know that. I watch. I may not type in, but I am watching. I am the #1 espionage man. Yes, I work undercover, but I am watching. Don't think there's anything going on I don't see. You know that, Shaka. I do my research. Now, you bring an accusation to someone, you better have your evidence. If you don't have your evidence, then I'm telling you, you are an enemy of our people, right? And I'm telling you, we must put a stop to this as people. Don't even give the white man a chance. Let us show them that we can deal with these people. And we need to clean up home, our communities. If we're going to be in the West or wherever we are, we're gonna have to deal with our people in our communities that are destroying our people. We're not gonna have people that are gonna be there trying to praise people that have such agendas that is going against our race. Now, believe you me, Shaq, I hurt down to my soul when I hear these things, because I don't know your daughter, but your daughter is like my daughter. You understand? It's like my daughter you're talking about. I don't have no daughters, I have a son. But when someone taught these things, right, it hurt me down to my very soul. Okay, without evidence, without proof. This is where we are,
right? You're talking about the fake advocate.
This is where we.
Yeah, I didn't listen to her. I downloaded the stream, but once again, people can see that she's not criticizing Tahaka Bay, who follows someone who married a 12-year-old and got her pregnant at 14 years old. Not only her, but that so-called queen. They're just a bunch of fake advocates. And for the record,
may I say something to you, Shaka?
Yeah, feel free.
Please, Shaka, move on. Do not contact these people. You are a very important man. I'm not telling you what to do. Right? You've got a lot of people backing you. But one sec, Shaka.
I didn't even address her. I didn't even listen to her stream. I downloaded it just in case, But
no, I know. I'm not saying nothing. Shaka, look. I know. Shaka, look. You have all your. Again, we're gonna say you got your right. You could, you know what I mean, Shaka. You understand? You played it. You played it many times. Yeah. What I am saying is, your place in our community is a lot more important. You have skills. You as a teacher. You was a kickboxer, so you're a part of the warrior as well. But you put down the gloves and you pick up the book, and you've picked up something to uplift our people. I'm just saying, Shaka. It's time we must separate ourselves. The wolves from the sheep pack. We may have the same color. But we are not. They are not like us, Shaka. They are not like us. It's not like us.
And the anti-sugar, right? The anti-sugar. We have a girl who said that when she was 13, he was sending her money. He didn't want her mother to know about it. And those fake advocates ain't saying nothing about it, right? Some people call that grooming, right? 13-year-old, you know what I'm saying? So basically what they did while trying to attack me, they exposed themselves. They buried themselves, you know what I'm saying? So is what it is.
Shaka, as I said, what's more hurtful for me, my initial thoughts are with your daughter and these accusations. Look, for an example, if anyone had some evidence that was going on, we are compelled to do something about it. We're not going to sit on the internet, Shaka. I'm not going to know that something's going on like that, Dan, and I know and I can do something about it, and I'm not going to do something about it. Simple as that, right? But this way that we have now, and using the internet as a way of now attacking each other, and also the rules of engagement, the dialogue, it's really sickening. It's sickening. You understand? And I was very upset to hear that. That's why I tried to say to you, I don't want you to.
She's a Sanetta agent, brother. She's just that thing that she's saying. She's just repeating, and extrapolating the claims of Filthy Frankie Sanetta. For those who don't know the fake advocate, you know what I'm saying? She told him indeed that he had every right after he insulted my mother and my children.
So fuck that bitch nigga. Fuck him, his mother, his wife, his so-called girlfriend, and his babies. Fuck him. Give a fuck about that nigga. That's the way I give it back up to him.
And you have every right. That's why I say that's between you and Shaka.
And for the record, she was a paid member of my channel, right? So these accusations she's making now, she did not make them before. It's something like August 2024, when a year back she knew me. You know what I'm saying? It's because when people are hurt because they expose themselves and everybody know that they are fake advocates, then they will go all the way and make some crazy claims. So she can knock herself out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not moved by that. I don't think that anybody's gonna believe whatever she's talking about, right? But on the other hand, I never accuse her of anything like that. Napasha Da and Sanetta accused her. She played the live stream when she was accused of committing sexual acts on her brother. And for a very long time, she did not deny. There are some things that she denied, some things she said, oh, it's not true, it's not, and so on. But and you know what, since we talked about this, I'm going to share the link so people can see, what I'm saying. She did not deny. So she's just a pathological liar. And that's all, what I'm saying. But hold on, let me share it so people can know. Now hold on, it won't be long. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna put that. There it is.
So Shaka, when you mentioned
sorry, one second, brother. Yeah, no, it's okay. Just 1 second, please. So here is a question mark. I never accused her of anything. Napasha Da did. Did she make any live stream accusing Napasha Da of doing things to her children? No. She is a Sanetta agent, and you will see sooner or later she will be back over there. She will be back over. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, JTV.
Yeah, sorry. When you said that there's people taking up the Kemetic way of life, or say indigenous or African spirituality, what exactly is happening to them? Are they being attacked or something? Or
they're being criticized. No, they're not being attacked physically. Well, at least not yet. But there is an elder in Mali. He was living in France. I met him, and I even bought a couple of his books way back. And he's called Dumbi Fakoli.
What does he teach?
In the chat.
What is it about? What is his books about?
He teaches about Khmer, traditional African ways of life.
Okay.
So on. Now in Mali, there's a young cat who did something disrespectful towards Muslims. I think he walked on the Quran or something like that. He filmed himself, and people were looking for him, and he fled.
Yeah.
Dumbi Fakoli apparently. Now maybe I made a mistake. Actually, I think that. Hold on.
What is his name?
Yeah, I think there's the U that so I'm just gonna type. Hold on. Dumbi Fakoli. I forgot the U. So that's the way it is spelled. So it was said that he knew him, or he was asked about that young cat who did that stuff that's disrespectful. He did not want to, just denounce him or tell on him, and because of that, they sent him to jail. And he's mature. I mean, I don't know if they say his age. I don't know if he has a Wikipedia. He does have a Wikipedia page. He's 80 years old. So that was like a couple of years ago that he was put in jail. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, those people who are from countries like Mali and others, but African countries who are turning towards Kemet or Ma'at or traditional African ways of life, they are being attacked online. There's many groups, there's people just going in because they're having debates, they are having dialogues, right? And they don't know how to deal with the facts. Yes, they don't know how to deal with the facts. So then they will just accuse people of being, Islamophobic or whatever, and making all sorts of excuses. And that's why, there's some people, we have to be cautious and be careful because they act like they want to debate. And then when they lose a discussion, they lose a debate, then they're going to accuse you of hating their religion. You know what I'm saying? And so it is what it is, but they're not feeling well at all. People, and we've seen, even with yours truly, right? This disgusting, filthy Frankie Sanetta who claims that he's Kemet, like he said, because he's struggling with his speech, right? We've seen how he allowed people to teach that they hate Africans on his panel. We've seen how he had several convicted child molesters on his panel. How he defended convicted child molesters himself, like Malachi York, like Brother Polite, aka Michael, or let's say Michael Noah Jr., aka Brother Polite, called him powerful, right? And also the scammers. Butler Reggie that I played earlier, when Polite was sentenced, Butler Reggie went live and he said he knew Polite was coming. Well, why didn't you say it when Polite was being advertised on that platform? that he was a part of, that a house of consciousness, that's insane. So they've been, gravitating towards those Abrahamic believers, mainly recently, the last few years, the Hebrew Israelites, right? But before that, he was really dealing mainly with the Moors and people dealing with metaphysics. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have any teaching, so he needs people to come and teach or claim stuff on his platform, and that gives him content. And recently we've seen, and as a matter of fact, we've seen him with the bandana of the ISUPK, and maybe the hat also at one point, or the shirt, right? How many people wears a bandana for one organization live on air if they don't belong to that organization? So who knows? Maybe he belonged to it at one point, if not now. Some people wonder if he was or if he is not a member of the Nubians, Malachi York's organization. You know what I'm saying? That would not surprise me. Some people are faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen many people trying to attack me, and they did not succeed. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen that people have tried to get my channel deleted. You know what I'm saying? And it always came from these people, right? Filthy Frankie Sanetta made some copyright claims. His so-called wife, Woof Woof Napashida, made some copyright claims. Pum Pum Smash Rockwell made some copyright claims. You know what I'm saying? And others as well, you know what I'm saying? But just to name a few. They've tried to silence me. It didn't work. And now we have the fake advocate still trying, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't work. They're trying, but it's a reality. We can see that because our people are waking up. Our people are opening their eyes. So what they are doing also, using xenophobia. They can try. We see how far it goes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad part, is that when you deal with, traditional African ways of life, you come through a lot of adversity. If you deal with the Abrahamic belief system, you join a community with billions of people. We are far from having a billion of people. I would even say we're far from having millions of people. I don't even think we have 1 million Kemetic people worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. But I don't argue, I state facts. You know what I'm saying? So that's a challenge, that's the adversity, right? I deal mainly with history, and people know that, If people believe the 12 tribe chart is something historical, then, be my guest and let us know how, Once again, there's a Hebrew Israelite who said that word to fast, that Hebrew word to fast, that's the word that they translated as RAPE in Bible Gateway, Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 28, where he says that if a man meets an unbetrothed virgin and abuses her, the R word, and they are found, he shall pay the father 50 shekels of silver, or let's say 50 shekels, and he must marry her, and he cannot divorce her until he dies. One Hebrew Israelite from the FOPE or FOPE organization said that to fast means to seduce, when that word means to hold, to grab, to seize. In the Bible, there's many instances where it talks about cities being attacked and conquered. That's the word that's used to fast. But some people are playing games and saying, well, in the Bible, it talks at one point about the person like grabbing a book or something to that effect, right? Now, in English, if I say, well, I took my phone, it means I literally took my phone like I'm doing now. If I say I took the train, it doesn't mean that I literally took the train. They're just playing games. That's what they are doing. Doing linguistic gymnastics. Yes, go ahead, brother. Feel free.
Well, sorry to interrupt you again. We're at a mental stage where we have ignorance, a lot of ignorance, and that is truly enemy. Bob Marley said mental bondage. He calls it mental bondage. It's no longer physical. They truly have our minds. They have our the brain, which controls the whole body. So once you got the minds of the people, and the spirit in these people are so strong that they react in a way that you yourself may be in danger. So you must be very careful even approaching an ignorant person. And it's just the sign of the times, Shaka, sign of the times. I know what time it is. And as I said, I'm still studying, and but from what I can see, we have a long way to go. And concerning Africa as well, it's, you know, ever since they invaded Egypt, and started their dynasties down there, and they followed that on. Well, you had the Arabs as well, the Muslim conquering Africa, and it's just ever since then it's just such more of a decline in our mental strength. It's reduced us to fighting against each other. And while we're fighting, I mean, even in the UK, bringing it back to the UK, while they're talking about migrants and minor things, no one is looking at the other big things that actually impact all of our lives, like cost of living. You got children going without food, without breakfast in the morning in the UK. Young little children. You have all kinds of you have wars being taken. I mean, most of the wars that England are involved with, these migrants are they are directly from English intervention in their countries. Whether or not they're there with troops, but they're sending money to these places and destabilizing. And the British Empire has played a massive role in destroying this world. They talk about migrants. Well, they're the original migrants. They're the ones that went around the world and took people from their homeland and dumped them in a place and abused them. And
I like what you said, brother. I would like to interject, brother, please. Those people who are talking about taking their country back, how would they feel if people in America say, okay, we want to take our countries back? If the Native Americans say, we're going to take our countries back, so you guys go back to England, how would they feel if people in Australia, the Aboriginals, say, we want to get our countries back, you guys go back to England and all these other European countries you're coming from? You know what I'm saying? But indeed, they have colonized places, stole places from inhabitants by the power of the weapons that they had, and it is law, manifest destiny. You know what I'm saying?
You see, it's one-sided. Yeah, it's one-sided, you see, Shaka. There's nothing with equal racism, loving your own race and being in your own country and, having your own laws. But that does not mean what I am saying. That means that you must go against any race. No, that is breaking the law of nature. Okay, these people have a one-sided thing. So, for an example, they don't want no one to come to their country, but they want to come. So, for an example, we all go home, we exodus, we pack our bags, gone to Africa. Well, what I've said on my lives is, well, you got to be real, because the same policy at home is the policy abroad. That means that you have to stay in England. You can't leave. We're not allowing you to come in. That means no natural resources. That means no holidays. That means all the good stuff that Shaka, everything they have is built on us, on our people, on our homeland.
It's gonna be fun then. The natural resources. Did you see? There's a U.S. senator. He had a Freudian slip. He talked about the natural resources in Africa, and he said, "Oh, so we can exploit it." And then he corrected himself and he said something like explore, but he had that Freudian slip. But yes, indeed, indeed,
That's the one. That's the one, Shaka. They have their they destroy the planet as well. They're drilling all for wealth. You know, these things was in Mother Earth for a reason. The lubrication, the oil, the gold, everything is there for a reason. And they're messing about with the most powerful thing, and it's nature. And nature is going to correct this. It's going to correct this. You're going to have more wildfires. You're going to have more natural things.
Pastor,
The pollution.
yes,
Right, the pollution, the
you
sea
know,
level.
and yes, the pollution, and you
Right.
know, a lot of activity is causing, you know, some, you know,
Yes.
quote unquote natural disaster is just impacting more because of that. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, a lot
Yes.
of people are suffering, and the people who suffer the most from natural disasters, unfortunately, are the people who pollute the less, or who pollute way less, and
Yes.
these, you know, superpowers. But you know, but brother,
Yes.
I appreciate that, brother. I'm gonna, you know, cut it a day, but you know, always feel free to
All
come
right,
back. It's
cool.
been a minute I didn't speak with you. It was lovely, brother. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
Big up Shaka, yeah? One love, my brother. All
Thank
right.
you, brother JD, our brother from England.
You hold it
So,
up, Shaka.
ladies,
You're my brother. Respect. Love.
respect to you, brother. Appreciate you. So, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay healthy, if I'm allowed to. By the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. To do an Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving medical nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'at4ever.